expected to be challenging to replace Sepp Blatter as the next FIFA president. 3 of the candidates are from Europe, 2 from Asia, and 2 are from Africa. South Africa's Tokyo Seshwale is one. The other is Liberia's Musa Bility, who I'm delighted to say joins Focus on Africa in the studio alongside me. Musa, it's been 10 days or so since you got your nomination in and you made the shortlist to be the next FIFA president. What have you been doing in the time since? How's the campaign going?
It's going well. What we have done over the last 10 days is to develop our agenda, and to do that, we thought the best thing to do is to talk to members association to understand the geography of our politics of football, to ensure that we have an appreciation of what Europe wants, what Asia wants, what Africa wants, because we realize that they are not the same.
Just very briefly, was it easy to actually get to the start line, to get the nominations, to make the list?
No, we have no doubt that we were going to get those nominations. We got more than we needed. We took 4 along with Liberia that we felt were necessary. That's why up to now we declined to name those countries.
So you're hoping to be the next FIFA president, which is obviously a massive, massive job. What are you telling people and telling federations around the world when you speak to them and try and get them on board to back you?
First is, I have a record of standing up for what is right in FIFA. Of all the candidates, I'm the only one that have a record of being able to stand up to the leadership of FIFA or any of our other sporting organization. And what I'm telling them is that if we do not change, when change is most needed, we will be setting another date with another disaster. And I think they get it.
They do get it. So you've got to talk about change, but a lot of the people are talking about change. So what is your more specific agenda than just simple change? What other proposals do you have to run global football?
Well, the first proposal I have is to make sure that everybody is part of whatever agenda we draw up. So the first thing I'm doing right now is to consult and understand the dynamics of the various confederations, the way they function, what are their problems, what they need. Europe, for example, may not have money problem, but they have other problems. We like to understand that. I'm on my way to the Scandinavian countries at the end of the month, and they've invited me to talk about my candidacy. What I'm going to be doing there is to understand and appreciate what they are looking forward to in the new FIFA. I'm going to do the same thing to the Caribbean, to the Americas, and to Asia. Before you draw up an agenda, you need to understand what the members want, what their aspirations are, and what are the expectations of the people of the world, governments around the world, of FIFA. Because we cannot afford to set up a leadership that years to come will bring us to where we are again.
You're up against some big names, Prince Ali of Jordan, Sheikh Salman from the Middle East as well. Potentially Michel Platini, should he come back from his FIFA suspension, would be running, if not him, the UEFA Secretary General Gianni Infantino. Big names in the world of football, very, very recognised. Yours, with all due respect, is not the most recognised name in the field. What sort of realistic chance do you give yourself of winning this election?
That's exactly what makes me unique. I am the only one in this race that cannot be associated with anything that has gone wrong in football. Those names that you are calling are the names that have been running football for the last 30 years. Those are the names that have created the problem football is facing today. My call is, if we have to make change, let us be realistic. The same players of yesterday who brought about the problem cannot lead the change. Change may change, and change may change in leadership. So we're calling for a new FIFA. FIFA that will bring back football. It should never be about how FIFA is run. It should be about how football is played. We should be talking about how we will change the rules of the game, how we will eliminate racism and other match fixing into football. The governance has become an issue, and it should not be an issue.
Just want to talk to you about the African vote itself. Tokyo Seshwale from South Africa is the other candidate standing from the continent. You previously said that you might be prepared to stand aside should CAF give their nomination to a different African candidate. Is that something you would now be prepared to do with the South African, or are you completely fixed on going for this job all the way?
At this time, it's very clear to me that CAF is not going to do that. I'll ask CAF for the opportunity. I think they are doing the right thing. We shouldn't set out to go for the leadership of FIFA by saying that Africans should be seen as Africans. I think I'm running to be FIFA president because I believe that I'm competent, and it is not with the 55 vote of Africa that I can become FIFA president. So I need to be president of the world. I need to convince Europe of my agenda. I need to convince the Caribbeans, the Americas, Asians. So it is beyond the African agenda now. We have to set out to convince 209 countries, and those are beyond the borders of Africa. So the African agenda is behind us now. We are looking to a world leadership.
I just want to stick with the Infantino. Everybody talks about how important the African vote bloc is to nominating the FIFA leadership. As we've seen over the years, we go back to the early 70s when João Havelange, the Brazilian, became FIFA president with a lot of African support. Traditionally, though, it's not always been united, the vote from the continent. Do you think there's going to be one bloc vote, or do you think you might find different areas from the continent being pulled in different directions?
Well, it depends. I mean, the agenda of the candidate will determine, I don't like for Africa to be seen as a black voter. We should be seen as people who vote based on ideas, and that's what I believe that my colleagues in Africa will do. They are not going to vote for me because I'm a president of an association. They are going to look at my agenda just as the Asians will do, just as the Europeans will do. To think that Africa vote in blocks, I think is an idea that we should get away from. We should vote based on ideas and the principle laid out by the candidates.
I'll stop you there. Thank you very much, Musa Bility. I wish we could have a little more time, but we've got to cover the main sporting news, of course, now.